Good morning. I've got the fucking discussing now on screen when it's not supposed to be there, but hey, how you doing? Welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham D, and I am joined by the man that we call Bibby. I'll read Bib.
Good after, Mark. Nope, we are definitely in the 10 a.m. realm.
Yeah, it's 10:39. So when JMK tried to run the exclamation mark time using chatbot first thing this morning, I didn't even have chatbot running. So then I had to go and run chatbot. And by the time I did that, it was still only 10:33. So absolute 10 a.m.-ish times. Hey, how you doing? Welcome in to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. I've got to adjust my camera because it's leaning slightly. You know what? There's a slight lean there. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can see it on the camera. I'm going to leave it because... fuck that shit while it's live. Hey, how you doing? Welcome in. If you don't know who we are, as mentioned, my name is Graham. This is Baby. We are Ice Cream Uploads, and in true Ice Creamy fashion, this is the Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast. If we do say so ourselves, we are live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, where we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.
Ish.
Literally. Today, literally 10 a.m.-ish. Boom!
Confirmed.
Skadoosh. If you are watching this on Twitch, hey, how you doing? Please do feel free to get involved. As JMK has already, has Plum Rico, as okay, there's H's in there. They're going in the wrong place. You're just going to have to go with it, right? And as has Tito as well, who's got in. Who this new streamer? Exactly, feels like it. Speaking of new streamers, I did say if you we are live on Twitch, and if you're watching this, please do feel free to get involved. There's a couple of reasons for that, because we are going to bring you the biggest, the best, the breaking stories in the world of video games and our thoughts and impressions. We want to hear your thoughts and impressions, and your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. That's kind of how the whole thing works, and it's important that you do that. Not just because the live stream is turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes and Spotify and Amazon Music and Google Play. Lots of places where over 200,000 people have watched and listened to this podcast on demand. But also because... Bibby is, even though it looks pretty similar, I'll jump over to the big Bib. Skadoosh. Even though it looks pretty similar, you'll notice Bibby's got a new microphone.
Yes, I have. We sure have.
Sure have. So Bibby is using here one of the Shure SM7Bs that we have in the studio. We've got a bunch of those in there now. So we are running XLR audio in the studio. I'm still using my Elgato Wave 3 mic at home. But... when you go from USB audio to XLR audio, XLR is the daddy, but it's not quite as easy because you've been tailored to using little digital knobs and little twists and little VSTs that you can just plug in proper easy and so on to tweak stuff. Not as easy to do that with XLR audio. Then offsetting my audio levels versus Bibby's audio levels from two different locations and stuff. Just not quite. It's not quite as easy as it has been because we're not used to it yet. So if anything's wrong, like say if I'm always louder than Bibby anyway because I've got a gob. Until Bibby starts laughing, then he's got a gob. But yeah, if the audio levels are jarringly off, please do feel free to let us know because that stuff's useful. If the audio is extremely off, we were doing some testing before we went live, and it seemed to be okay. I had to boost Bibby up quite a bit. And then all of a sudden my audio was lower again, so I had to boost me back up a bit. And so hopefully we found a good level where it sits nice. When we're speaking, obviously, when I'm presenting, when I'm giving you the spiel, I go loud like that, and that's obviously not my normal voice. But the stuff when I'm talking halfway through sentences and stuff versus when Bibby's talking halfway through sentences, if there is a big difference, then do let us know, and I'll have to drop mine down rather than boost Bibby up.
It's a merry-go-round.
Yeah. Scoop me, daddy. Touch it, baby. Touch the mic, says Spidge.
Touch it, bring it, babe.
Nice. That is a lovely shirt, babe, says Tito. You handsome, bespectacled bastard.
I checked the weather this morning, and at least for the next 10 or 11 days in Manchester, the sun is going to be out. It's over 18 degrees for the next 10, 11 days. So I'll be working my way through this fine selection of shirts.
If anyone didn't see it, I'm just killing WhatsApp because it just made a blink noise, and Slack can get out of here as well. Get out. If anyone hasn't seen it, Bibby did post a picture just before format of what shirt is going to wear. The full collection of fashion atrocities is now back out of the cupboard or wherever he keeps them. The crypt. That's what we'll call them.
Absolutely. I mean, gets to summer, you've got to have something nice and bright and stuff. Like when it's winter, all my clothes are like blue and black and grey and stuff like that. However, when it gets to summertime, Graham, it's not summertime sadness. It's summertime party time, and we get all the pastel colours out. I've got a load of pink ones. I was going to wear the pink one today. I thought, no, I'll save that for a special occasion next week.
Well, 2 weeks yesterday, I am on a cruise. Well, I'm off to New York and then going on a cruise. And one of the nights on the cruise is a Caribbean night, so I need basically Hawaiian shirt kind of stuff.
I would let you lend any of mine. However, they will be 3 sizes too big.
I think I'm okay. I think I'll pass.
Are you sure?
Yeah, but so we did a trip to Primani on the weekend, and yeah, they were crap. Like, don't get me wrong, I mean, it's only something that I was going to use and throw away, but you don't want something that looks tragic. They were either like they weren't even trying to be Hawaiian shirts. It was like, oh, I want to make a Hawaiian shirt, but I'm not really confident with it. So it was like, well, what's the point? I want something that looks proper over the top, and then I wanted something that was nice colors as well. So the ones that I did find were all like vibrant orange and stuff, which like, I want blues and purples and some leaves and stuff thrown in there. I want the ICU Double Trouble artwork from back in the day with palm trees and I want that. But I actually saw some really cool ones online as well. There's a website called Results or something, RS, and it's like a VLTS rather than a U, and they do like brand crossovers. So they've got a Happy Gilmore one where it's like it's loads of grass and stuff, and there's a guy bending a golf club in half, like just dotted around, so you don't really notice it. And then there's a Jurassic Park one that's loads of palm trees, but then just a Velociraptor eye, like the clever girl. It's really cool, but they're like fucking 70 quid each. So I was like, never mind, I don't want that, thank you.
One of my favourite ones I got when I went on my honeymoon in Jamaica, and it is an absolute atrocity of a shirt. It's basically ICU colours, but it's in patches. So like there'll be a big square here where it'll have like a sunset, and it'll say Jamaica running through with a load of palm trees. But then it's that copy and pasted all around the shirt. It's not just like one big different artwork. It's the same artwork, just copy and pasted. The material is horrendous. It's way too big for me, but as soon as I saw it in I don't want to say club shop because it's not a club shop. It's just the shop that they have on site. As soon as I saw it, I was like, 100% confirmed. I am getting that. So I might even bring that bad boy out for the jelly summer party or something.
Want to see it. Sun's out, bums out, says Gact. Steve, Gerard. I mean, genuinely, like we were talking about the other day, easily one of the best third-placed midfielders in the conversation of 3 midfielders.
Confirmed.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad we agreed as well. Every single one of us, me, Bibby, and Gact, all agreed that Paul Scholes is better than Lampard, is better than Gerrard. We all agreed, actually. It was Paul Scholes, Frank Lampard, Tom Cleverley, Steve Gerrard. That's what we all agreed. I wrote that in Gact's chat the other night. I'm not sure he saw it. He was playing RP. So, yeah.
Michael Carrick is a much better midfielder than Steven Gerrard ever was.
Yeah, better distribution, more league titles.
Vision.
Like, so stats, facts, trophies, all. Michael Carrick is greater than Steven Gerrard, facts. Oh, hello. Sorry, it's Gact. This is my new username. Oh, no. I know. I realised when I was like, who the fuck is Jose Garop? And then I clicked on it and realised it was Jose Gora RP. But it still had your Gact logo on your account. So I was like, okay. So that was like, not last night before or whenever it was. And I was sat chilling out. So, yeah, I know. Good morning, Spud and Graham, says Kenneth. Spud's a lucky man. Yeah. When you getting an RP, Kenny Cobra? PUBG for life. Do you know what? I'd do some RP. My PC is a strong enough PC for gaming on a console, and it's a strong enough PC for playing.
Size of this moth.
Fucking hell, size of this moth. It's a strong enough PC for playing. I'm going to jump in the split screen, actually. Strong enough PC for playing games at a decent level, but pretty low. But RP would just it would just explode. Trying to jump into a Discord.
Uncle Pop.
Oh, yo. Welcome into 12. Yeah, doing RP, would love it. I mean, if you've ever seen me and Bibby doing Master League stuff, we like to get into character. So RP is definitely something that we would resonate with. Fun fact, I've probably mentioned this a billion times recently, but we were gonna launch our own RP server because we do web design stuff and hosting as part of our work off stream. We were going to host our own server, but we didn't. We didn't. It was too effort in the end. People were already doing it. This was back before 5M and stuff had kicked off. And what's the other one? No Pixel. Before they'd properly kicked on, we were looking at doing it about must be about 4 or 5 years ago now, close to something like that.
Yeah, about 4 years ago.
But yeah, we didn't in the end. But I'd love to, but it's just effort, chore, getting it all set up. I wouldn't want to do it for the content without doing it for the content. I wouldn't want to do it and not make content out of it, because I'd enjoy it, but it's just too much of an opportunity missed. So I'm using my spare time for live and my content time for content, whereas that would be effectively my spare time for content that's not content, because I won't be streaming it. So yeah. I've lost my mouse. There it is. I hate you both. Unfollowed. All right, settle down.
Thank God. Get him out of there.
Sheesh. I mean, I was about to start. I mean, we've got Tom Cleverley. I was about to throw in Darren Gibson as well. Everton's finest. God.
Big Dazza.
Good morning, 12. Good morning, lads. I'm knackered, man. What's happening in the world of video games? Well, we actually have a few things to talk about. Funnily enough, being the #1 video game podcast, we have to tell you about. There we go. I couldn't get it. Couldn't get it up then, but I managed to sort it right out, boys. The Witcher 3 has now sold 50 million copies, which is almost as many shirts Bibi has with flowers and patterns on like that. Nice. 50 million copies. The Witcher has just smashed another milestone as well. We'll jump through that in a second. After that, we'll start talking about Microsoft's appeal against the UK Activision deal. The appeal has been scheduled for July. So if you're wondering, if you've not seen that story, you've thought, it's been a couple of weeks since I've heard Ice Cream Up. Let's talk about the Activision Blizzard deal. I want the latest. Well, we got you the latest on that. Plus a story that people were talking about in our Discord. Ministers seek to understand more about video games. Bully had a really good comment in the Discord last night, and it's like, don't let them understand more, because they'll realize that we enjoy it, and then we're all fucked.
Yeah.
CD Projekt is not for sale. Do you know what? I'm going to move that one up the order, actually, because it follows the other one. So CD Projekt is not for sale, says the CEO, after rumours that Sony are out to buy it. And then there is a new Silent Hill game. Well, there's quite a few coming. We spoke about these last year, I think it was. And a new trailer has been released for one of them, so we're going to have a talk about that. Only so much we can say. Full disclosure, we do work with Konami, so we won't say much more than what's in the article, but we'll bring you the information that is within that. For now, though, Mr. Bibb, CD Projekt, specifically The Witcher, yay or nay?
Yes. I'm going to be brutally honest, Graham. I have never finished The Witcher 3. I did actually. Wow. I missed the. I know. I missed the first two Witcher games. But I did actually go back and start the first. I think me and you had a conversation about 2 years ago, because it was on GOG for about 99p, so I picked it up. And obviously, it's a completely different game than what you'd expect from The Witcher 3. But I've got a lot of things to be able to say on this Witcher news, so I'll wait until we finish through the article.
Yeah, I've not started it. I did buy it when it was reduced on PlayStation ahead of it getting its like HD upgrades for PS5 or whatever. Cost me like £3. I was like, shush. Threw the money at it, and then I've never seen it since. But anyway,
every other of the 999 games that are in your library.
I don't know what you mean. Opening up the story as we continue. Chris Scullion at VGC has this story. It says The Witcher 3 has now sold 50 million copies. The combined Witcher series has also passed the 75 million milestone. Sheesh. So The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt has now sold more than 50 million copies, according to publisher CD Projekt. At a Q1 2023 earnings conference on Monday, CD Projekt president and CEO Adam Kaczynski opened his presentation by acknowledging the milestone. Quote, "Before talking about Q1, I would like to share with you some good news," Kaczynski said. "I'm very proud to say that The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt hit 50 million copies sold. This, according to public data, ranks The Witcher 3 among the 10 best-selling video games of all time." Kaczynski also noted the entire Witcher trilogy combined has now passed 75 million copies sold. This clearly shows the strength of the franchise, and we are excited, looking forward to our next projects within the Witcher universe, he said. As Kaczynski pointed out, the news means that The Witcher is now the 9th best-selling video game of all time, ahead of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, which has sold 47.5 million copies. That's actually massive. And behind Red Dead Redemption 2 with 53 million copies sold. The best-selling game of all time remains to be Minecraft with 238 million copies sold. We'll leave it there. We don't need to go through the last bits. So The Witcher 3 has now sold 50+ million copies. It has sold more than the original Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow games. Is that an achievement, or is that an achievement? Thoughts, babe?
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely don't think if anyone was to have a bet, if there was to do a Back to the Future Martin McFly and you end up getting the book and you're seeing what the results are in the future, I don't think anybody had this in their bingo
I think
card.
you mean the Gray's Sports Almanac.
There we go. Yeah, I don't think anybody had this on there. I mean, the Witcher is obviously hugely successful, hugely popular, which then obviously ended up spanning the Netflix series as well. But I don't know what came first. I don't know whether or not it was the books or the video game, and then the game then inspired the books. I'm not too sure. However, whichever way that them two came about, obviously then it inspired the Netflix series. So you've kind of got a triple threat here of different ways that people can be in the Witcher universe. I didn't see 50 million coming. I didn't think that, including the first two games, which obviously then totaled 25 million for the 50 million for the third one to come along, to be able to prop that up to 75. No, not in a million years. I never would have thought it'd outsell Pokemon. I thought Pokemon is an institution at this point. Regardless of which game, which generation you are, Pokemon is everywhere. Yet the original ones are sold 47.52 million. Like, it's ridiculous.
Frosty, yeah.
Minecraft will never get caught. I didn't think Grand Theft Auto 5 would sell 180 million units. That seems a ridiculous number. Obviously, it's spanned across 3 different console generations.
Just a second, because we've got some call of going on. So you've got call. Yeah. Shouting out over your input. I mean, to be fair, this is more important. Yeah. Thank you for the 7 months, boys. Sorry, very sorry. Tito says sorry too as well. Sorry, Bib. What were you saying? Bib fuming with the timing of that.
So I'm just gonna go on strike here now. I never liked the Code Red boys anyway.
Yeah, fuck those guys. Fuck those guys. Sorry to cut you off, Bib.
Terrible sorry. But yeah, back to my point. I did actually bring up the list of best-selling video games, and I saw Tetris there, and I thought, hold on a second. Don't want this pack-in game bullshit. So Wii Sports would have been out as well. And then you could put an argument about Mario Kart 8. I know it was a packaged game at some point, but it wasn't like Tetris where every single Game Boy that you bought contained a copy of Tetris. That should never be included. It's bullshit. Because
not only that,
no one's outright gone out and bought it.
Yeah, but it was across generations of fucking like
Yeah.
Tetris as a game has sold so much because it's not that one Tetris. It includes all sorts of color versions and stuff, which Mario Kart not Mario Kart. Let's say Mario on a Game Boy versus Mario on a Game Boy Advanced SP kind of thing would be classed as two separate games. But Tetris, they've just gone, no, we just called it Tetris because it's the same game.
Yeah.
No.
But Tetris is actually third on this, and it's not the packing game. The packing game is much further down at 43 million, but 100 million units of Tetris, the mobile game, have been bought. And I thought, hold on a second. If this is a fucking 99p video game, it should be removed off this list so fast. However, did a little bit more research, Graham. And depending on when you bought this, when it first came out, it was $9.99. When you bought it after, I think 2012, it was £5. So people have still been buying this game. I think it's been discontinued now. It's no longer available. So when it first came out, I think it was 2008. It first came out when people when the smartphones was starting to become a thing, whether or not you was like having a BlackBerry Curve or something like that. This is what it's in relation to, like the iPod Touch versions, your iPhones and things like that. It was £10, and then when they've started to figure out, hold on a second, we can start to put microtransactions within this game. If you bought it after a certain time, you'd have to pay £5, and it'd just be full of ads, and then you could skip through them by paying the £5, so then not have ads, but there'd be microtransactions within it. So I'm going to give them a pass with this one because I thought they was trying to do like a little dupe here with it being 99p or something, but it's a significant amount of money for you to be able to buy to be able to play a Tetris game. So I'll let them off with that.
Yeah, I mean, still, like a significant amount of money. It'll cost 70 quid to buy a new top end title. So
Mhm.
you'll be 14 times the price of a £5 game, which is
Mhm.
which for me, I feel like you need caveats. If that's not saying that on the table, mobile game $5.99 or whatever, then that
Mhm.
if that's not being factored in, then that just makes the table weak to me in that sort of sense. So, like,
Well, this was going to lead me on to my next point based off of what you've just said. How much did you spend on The Witcher 3 to be able to play the PlayStation 5 version when it came out?
£3. Yeah.
Exactly. So they are counting this regardless of whether or not it's a God game that you could get for 99p off an email because it was having a massive summer sale or something like that. All regardless of how much you ended up paying for this from a digital storefront or brand new from wherever, that's what they're including. So it doesn't matter if it's 99p. It doesn't matter whether it's 49.99 when it first came out. It doesn't matter if it's a bargain bin at the side of games tills for £5.
To cut
All
you
of
off
this is
though,
being counted.
I feel like, I mean, I used the phrase caveats, plural. So the price is one thing that needs to be factored
Mhm.
in, but platform as well. Like, I feel like if you can't be comparing the number of people that have paid to play football on a PlayStation versus the number
Mhm.
of people that have paid to play football at a five-a-side pitch across the world, because that's two completely that you've paid. One was cheaper and one was the other, but it was a completely different mechanism of delivery. So I feel like putting mobile in, particularly mobile from 2012 and
Mhm.
previous, alongside The Witcher 3 is a huge disparity. It's a completely different style of game and it's a completely different style
Mhm.
of accessing it. Modern day mobile gaming, like your COD mobiles and things like that, I mean, that starts to change the conversation then. The lines have been blurred, but I feel like that's where caveats need to be thrown in, because I'm happy with having Tetris console in there, but with caveats. The fact that, okay, this was sold over fucking 15 years and 17 different consoles, fine. But Tetris Mobile in there, once again, definitely needs caveats in there. So you could, because someone just saying, oh yeah, you know, it cost 99p on a mobile device, and it was churn. But that doesn't necessarily signal a good
Mhm.
quality game. It signals a game that's had a lot of churn.
Yeah.
So, what about inflation for older games like the C64 or Ataris? What do you mean about how do you mean? What about inflation for them? What in terms of the price of what they are now? I mean, I'm not bothered about going into that sort of level.
Hmm.
It's because I mean, some of those are probably extreme now if you account for their
Yeah.
projecting their prices forward.
Well, it's
But
all relative, isn't it? We're talking about units, not prices sold the games for. Because 25 quid back in 2010, 2000, the year 2000 might be 45 quid now, but there's still, if there was to bring out this, regardless of what decade it is, they'd still have that many units of that game sold because the times would move with the money, if that makes sense.
yeah, I mean, it's price versus platform, and if we're looking at, like, if you're just going off of straight numbers and that's all you're looking at, well then you've already made the decision on what you want to see. If you're looking at how many video games have been sold, then you've already made your decision. You're not listening to the full picture. You know what you want to hear. Whereas I don't want to hear how many something has sold, because if that's the case, mobile games are suddenly massively inflated in that chart just because number of downloads, number of installs, does that count? Does it have to be something that you pay a penny or more for? Because yeah, it can be crumbled a bajillion ways.
Mhm.
But if we leave them in there, then The Witcher 3 has still made it into the top 10, the ninth best-selling game of all time, and has now surpassed Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, which is
Mhm.
ridiculous for me. I remember being sat at the humble brag at the Golden Joysticks and seeing a bunch of games being up for Game of the Year and The Witcher 3 winning it. Sat in the Rumours, they won that award, and I'd never heard of The Witcher before Witcher 3, because
Mhm.
obviously it not in my circles, PC gaming more than anything really. But The Witcher 3 obviously is what took the franchise off and put it into the mainstream. Obviously, Witcher fans will be like, "No, mate, Witcher 1 and 2 are already great. You never did." I mean, I don't care. I didn't know about it because I'm not in that stream. I'm in the mainstream when it comes to The Witcher. So The Witcher 3 put it in front of me. So seeing it win that, I was like, oh, do you know what? It's nice to see something different win. Now here we are, fast forward 8 years later, 7 years later, whatever it is. It's outsold Pokemon Red and Blue, which is fucking bizarre, which shows you a couple of things. One, it's an exceptional game. But two, they have done an exceptional job in terms of engaging that community and activating on that brand at the right times in the right way, using Netflix TV series, getting Henry Cavill in there. An iconic person in terms of movies and pop culture. Henry Cavill, Superman, big DC universe, but also a massive gamer. So getting him in there to do that.
Super nerd as well.
Yeah,
super nerd.
Like,
you see that video of him
Warhammer
talking about
stuff.
fucking 40k Warhammer with that guy, and then two women are just like looking at them both with a fucking nerding off.
So
great.
Yeah, but perfect. Whether they got him because of his gaming stuff or not, it was either expertly planned or a wonderful, happy coincidence. That sort of stuff has now played its part in projecting 50 million copies. And to jump back a little bit, Pidge did say, but how many people have completed The Witcher? I bet it's less than 1%. Fun fact, 24.5% completion rate on Steam. There you go. Only on Steam. Obviously, it's a different story probably when it comes to consoles. I don't know if it's applicable to all, but only Steam allows you to access that. 24.5% completion rate. So 3/4 of people haven't completed that game that have played it on Steam, which is quite.
Yeah, it's a ridiculously long game though. You could say that about Zelda.
I mean, you can say it about a lot of games. You can say it about Metal Gear Solid 4. It's still an interesting fact, though. A game that sold 50 million copies and is a lot of people's best games of all time. Only 1 in 4 people that play it have actually finished it. It's such a bizarre statement.
Yeah, I mean, finishing a game nowadays it's very, very open ended because there's so much to do. Does completing it mean just main storyline? Does completing it mean side quests? Does that include side quests?
No, it's main storyline.
Right, okay. So
I reckon if we went for like 100% completion, like boxing it off, it'd probably drop down to the 1% or something like that. But that's the weird thing though. Like, people have clearly enjoyed it and loved it enough. But the thing is, it's whatever, I don't know, an 80-hour game, whatever it is. Not everyone can sit and fight their way through a game for 80 hours. So it's understandable that not a lot of people have completed it. There is a bajillion games out there that have had that sort of thing. But I mean, that's a testament to how good it is. The fact that 50 million copies have been sold, but only 24.5% of people have completed the game, which... Yeah, do you know what? Imagine how many copies it sold if they actually finished it. Fuck.
Well, this also begs a question then. When people get to vote on their game of the year, do you have to have completed the game to have that as your game of the year, or can you vote based off of your experiences with the game up until a point? So where's the cutoff?
I don't feel you have to. I feel like you're opening yourself up for...
My name is Optimus Prime. Hello, City gonna get beat this weekend, lol up the Reds actually, Diablo 4 is out.
Nice. We missed the tease at the end, but hello. City gonna get beat this weekend, up the Reds actually, Diablo 4 is out. Yeah, yeet is what Enix tried to say then, but we got e. So Enix, thank you for the 34 months. Primer, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that very, very much. But jumping onto the comment, do you have to finish a game to vote it for your game of the year? For me, no. But this is the thing. You open yourself up for comments because people have their own opinions on what makes a game of the year, or what can be judged, or what should be judged, and so on. For me, a game of the year is... I will allow that it has to be a game that has to be released in that year, not that you've played it, because that's just opening a fucking whole can of worms there. But if you've not finished it, you've not finished it. It is what it is. Ideally, it would be a game that you've played in completion, so you can judge on the full package. But you're not judging based on the complete game of the year. You're judging on your individual game of the year. And out of all of the games that you've played, even though I haven't finished it, this is my game of the year. So I'm happy enough for people to do that. I would respect a more rounded opinion from someone that's got the full culmination of the arc, because could Game of Thrones, you could be like, wow, last season, which then that could tarnish whether it's your game of year. But if you've had that much enjoyment, the difference with the Game of Thrones is that's an absent experience. You are not engaging and partaking like you would in a video game. So a video game, you will have like attachment to the characters and the stories and things that you've done more than you do watching something on TV, just by proxy, because you are doing it. You aren't just spectating it. So you're probably less likely to get that level of drop off. Or you will probably have something that will last with you for a while. I mean, you could argue that by saying, actually, because you've been so connected to the earlier bits, the ending being shit is actually more of a drop off. I mean, like I said, this is where things open up. So I would much prefer people to finish a full game if they're going to talk about it as their game of the year, but also it's game of the year. It's what makes you personally feel the best than any other game in that year. So I don't feel like you have to play it, especially if it's an 80 to 120 hour game like The Witcher 3. Because I
think that's tame for an open world RPG. Genuinely, that is it. People spend more time playing Animal Crossing and Pokemon than that. You playing PUBG will do 80 hours in a month, easy.
Probably, I'd imagine so. But that's the thing, though. That's me ticking multiple boxes in terms of social element, content, mission ticking, and all the rest. That is how I play that style of game. So for something like The Witcher, I don't play that for that sort of thing. So that's 80 to 120 hours extra for me, which is perfectly fine. It is tame for some people, but it's tame for people that have that as their main gaming arc. And if you aren't an RPG person by default, then finding an extra 80 to 120 hours is quite an ask, which is why it's only got a 24.5% completion rate. But that is also why I feel like you should be able to judge games based on if you've got a good understanding of the game. Ideally, if you're talking Game of the Year conversations, you've not finished it, you've spoiled it for yourself and found out how it ends and so on. But I feel like for something, particularly something like that, you can't just go, okay, play the game to its completion and then judge it. Because you play one game of Battle Royale, that's it, you've won, you've completed it, you know, you can judge it now. But that 30 minutes of Battle Royale versus 120 hours of The Witcher, you don't have to have, there's no, the different games, they're on similar consoles, they might have similar mechanics, but they're completely different experiences. So I feel like, boil it all down, the numbers are big, and they should be. The completion rate is quite small, and it should be, but all good. Because, one size doesn't fit all in any narrative. So, GG's to the Witch people. Let's go, CD Projekt. Speaking of which, CD Projekt is not for sale, babe. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
It was intended on buying them.
Well, Shunal Doke at the Gaming Bolt has this article, which says CD Projekt is not for sale. There's the CEO shooting down Sony acquisition rumors. So CD Projekt has shot down rumors of Sony acquiring the company, stating that the company wants to remain independent. I wonder if we're going to get one of those articles that we had from Ubisoft, where Yves Guillemot says, we absolutely want to remain independent. And then 5 minutes later, it was like, no, not that we definitely aren't for sale. We're not saying that. We're just meaning like we'd like to remain independent, but if someone came along with a big old wedge of cash, just say, okay, we get what you say, mate, settle down. Anyway, in a recent investors call, CD Projekt CEO Adam Kaczynski has put to bed rumors of Sony potentially buying the company, as reported by PC Gamer. Kaczynski stated in the Q&A section of its investors call that CD Projekt is not for sale and that the company wants to remain independent. Quote, nothing has changed, said Kaczynski. I can repeat what we've been saying throughout the year. CD Projekt is not for sale. We want to remain independent. We have, I believe, an excellent strategy. Not easy to execute for sure, but it's very exciting to follow our own path. Rumours of a potential acquisition of CD Projekt first popped up back in 2015. Since then, the company has seen quite a few rumours regarding it being acquired by a larger company, with the most recent one surrounding Sony looking to bolster its first-person single-player offerings. Because that's what Sony needs to add to its platform. First person single player offerings. Clearly, yes. Well, first person maybe. Anyway, spotted by Icon Eraser Unchained, reputed Destiny leaker Liz, what a name, Liz, indicated that Sony would announce a purchase of CD Projekt this weekend. During its investors call, the company also revealed that The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt has been immensely successful, having sold over 50 million copies. We know, we just talked about that. Keep up. So, the game, The Witcher, smashing it. The Witcher series, smashing it. CD Projekt in general, smashing it. Cyberpunk, tragic, but then smashed it, especially with, what was it? Was it Night Runners, Light Runners, or whatever? Fun Runners? Weird
Fun
Runners? I'm just throwing words in now. So they, the Netflix series for Cyberpunk clearly smashed it. CD Projekt smashed it, and as a result, they're happy to say they are not for sale. Is that a surprise? Is that what you'd pretty much expect, considering the fact that CD Projekt, in the time that we've been doing the scoop, I can't remember the exact year because they all blur into one now, became the biggest game publisher developer in Europe by overtaking Ubisoft in the build-up to CD Projekt's release. So biggest game publisher developer in Europe. Is it a surprise that it's not for sale?
I don't know. And this is kind of where I sit on the fence with these kind of statements, because they are clearly big enough to be able to not need any help from anyone. Usually mergers take place to either take IPs and be able to publish them as their own, to be able to bring that team of clearly talented individuals to be able to make games under their umbrella, to be able to market them as their games. But obviously CD Projekt don't need this. Arguably, we could have said 3 years ago when Cyberpunk was shitting itself and the world kind of went into meltdown because of all the pre-orders, how long it had been in the marketing space for, how the excitement was when this game was coming out, that they clearly needed help. And they've seemingly have turned it around. Granted, it's still on my shelf and not been installed on my console yet. I am waiting for the perfect time to play it. It's probably never going to happen.
Trying to find
but it's there, ready and waiting.
That drawer now. I was going to get my
yeah.
put something on top of it, so I'll leave it.
So yeah, arguably, I think they're doing fine on their own. They don't need anybody else's help. But until a massive, like you say, 3 truckloads of cash come backing up to their front door to be able to try and buy the IPs that they possess, including now a $50 million, 75 million units sold franchise. I believe that they are absolutely fine. They don't need anybody else's help. The only PlayStation will want to buy them, obviously, to bring into their own marketing campaigns. The same reason why Xbox want to buy Bethesda. I mean, obviously, they have ulterior motives as well, as that the first party games over on Xbox currently suck, and they need some help.
First party games?
Well, there we go. They've got fantastic IPs over at Xbox. We need to always give this small little rounded caveat over the top. They have fantastic IPs. We just don't know what to do.
Every time we stick the boot in on someone now as a joke, I think we just leave it so people think we're proper salty bastards.
You see, I want Xbox to be super successful, but they're shooting themselves in the foot constantly, and it's completely understandable why they want to go out and buy as many IPs as they can to try and sell their consoles, because the ones that they currently have, they don't know what to do with. So I don't know why anybody else would want to go and buy CD Projekt apart from just to be able to take them off of the market. That's the only way I can see this being a beneficiary to PlayStation or to anybody else who wants to go in and buy them. But yeah, this doesn't make sense for CD Projekt to go, do you know what? Unless you give us a blank check for us to write down a particular number that we're thinking of, then it's of no benefit to them at this moment in time. I can't see them needing the resources or the help, or especially the money to try and sell whatever game it is that they're currently working on to be able to distribute out again. It makes no sense.
No, I feel like it's if there was ever a time they were going to get sold, it's when the share price was crashing 3 years ago, well, 2.5-ish years ago, when Cyberpunk came out, and people were just bailing. PlayStation bailed on them. Xbox kind of bailed on them, but not to the same extent that PlayStation did. Their shareholders were suing them for not backing up promises and so on. If they were ever going to be sold, it was going to be then, because things did look patchy. Ice Cream Uploads absolutely 100% said that we feel that they will turn it around. They did that with The Witcher, arguably not from as low a point and not from hitting such a low point from an expected high point either. The Witcher 3 was just, I was all right, yeah, there's bugs in it and stuff, and you got to grin and bear it and stick through it. And then eventually all of that went, and you were just left with a beautiful story. Whereas they expected Cyberpunk to be great, and then it wasn't, and then they've built it back up to a decent game. It's not as good as The Witcher, but if it had just stuck the landing it was going for, it would have been a massive success. It ended up being a great success after the fact, after costing a shitload of money in fines and all sorts of refunds and so on. But, as mentioned, The Witcher TV series had another season. The fucking Cyberpunk Fun Runners, we'll go with Fun Runners now. I can't remember what it's called. Don't know what it's called. But the Cyberpunk series on Netflix did bits, and the game has done incredibly well. And we have reported on it at least 3 times, going, "Oh, do you know what? It's doing well. Oh, it's really good. It's now a great game on Steam charts and so on, and concurrent players." So, in that sort of sense, smashing it. Now that is effective. It will always be there. The Cyberpunk stain will always be there. It will always be a mention. The next time they release a game, whether it's good, this game has launched to massive fanfare, unlike Cyberpunk, which we can read our article here. Or if the game's shit, they've done it again, just like they did with Cyberpunk. It will be there, and it will stick around for a decade, if not longer. But they're cracking on. They have the next Witcher games already teased and announced. We've got logos, we've got names and so on. Can't remember off the top of my head exactly what it's called. Something to do with Wolf, maybe? I can't remember. But yeah, cracking on. So CD Projekt not being for sale does not surprise me. And also the fact that Bibi mentioned the Activision Blizzard deal, and the Bethesda deal that came before that too. Bethesda pushed the price up to 11 billion for a video games company. Wow. And then 69 billion for a video games company. No other company out there is really going to get nice. No other video game company out there is going to be charged 69 billion to buy. But that's like Chelsea or United having some whopper in the finance department overpaying for a player, and then it pushes the price up for everyone else in the market. So CD Projekt isn't, to go to the conversation we're having with Gackt earlier on, CD Projekt is not your Lampard, Gerrard or Scholes. Yeah, not Tom Cleverley either, but a very high-rated midfielder. But suddenly they're asking for Steven Gerrard costs, prime Steven Gerrard costs for it, and it's like, yeah. So that pushes the price up. That makes it harder to buy something like CD Projekt as well, because PlayStation aren't going to pay stupid prices just to be acquiring, because everyone else has started acquiring and they're acquiring, and they've already got a full team of things, and they've already got single-player games on lock pretty much. Not all of them, but they've got a lot of them on lock. So yeah. CD Projekt is not for sale, according to CD Projekt, and for me, that is believable. Is that an all-time thing? No. The same thing. There's a quote that someone put to Edge Runners. There we go. Thank you, JMK. Not for Fun Runners. It is
Fun Runners.
Yeah.
Tickle me that.
All in like big, it's a knockout inflator suits and stuff like that. Let's go to Fun Run. What was I saying? Oh yeah, there was a quote that someone put to Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer does not lie. And you could say the same for Jim Ryan, but this was about Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer does not lie, but what he says is only true when he says it. After he's said it, that might not be the case. We do not believe in exclusivity. Makes an exclusive game. We are not buying these Bethesda games to only release them on Xbox consoles. Only releases them on Xbox consoles. They're not lies. They are true. But what he says and what happens 3 months later are 2 different time periods. So you are not getting open-ended statements with that sort of stuff. When you are talking to investors, it's a time-sensitive thing. And what they've said here is it's not for sale, i.e. they are not talking about it now. Could someone still come for them? Heavily, yes. Is it going to happen? Probably not for me, at least not right now. But yeah, we'll see. Cyberpunk Cool Runnings, there you go. Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. Okay, we'll put a pin in that. So CD Projekt is not for sale, and neither is Activision Blizzard. Ish. Tom Ivan at VGC has this story. It says Microsoft's appeal against the UK Activision deal block has been scheduled for July. So the UK's competition regulator had hoped the case would be heard at a later date. So Microsoft's appeal against the UK competition watchdog's decision to block its acquisition of Activision Blizzard will be heard in court in July. In April, the CMA, which is the Competition and Market Authority, said it was preventing the $69 billion deal
Nice!
due to concerns about its impact on the nascent cloud gaming market. Microsoft, which is challenging the decision on 5 grounds, officially lodged its appeal against the CMA's decision last week, and the case is set to be reviewed by the UK's Competition Appeal Tribunal, or a CAT. During a case management conference on Tuesday, Judge Marcus Smith scheduled hearings for the appeal for late July. Quote, the hearing of the substance of this application will take place in the fortnight commencing July 24th, so the weeks commencing 24th and 31st of July, he said. I'm not expecting it to take the whole of those 10 days, but I would like the parties to err on the side of longer rather than shorter oral submissions. That's what she said. It seems to me that this is an excess that we can afford. There is a tendency, and it's very much driven by the tribunal rather than the parties, to cut submissions to shorter than they perhaps ought to be. I want to do the reverse in this case. I want to have the parties understand that we will want to give them every opportunity to unpack the difficulties of this case in oral submissions, giggity, and for us to have the time to do that, end quote. While Microsoft told the judge it wanted the hearings to take place as soon as possible, the CMA had been pushing for a later date to give it more time to prepare its case. Quote, the CMA's decision is flawed for multiple reasons, including its overestimation of the role of cloud gaming, cloud streaming in the gaming market and our position in it, as well as its unwillingness to consider solutions that received overwhelming industry public support, Microsoft said in a statement last week. The controversial deal has been cleared in almost 40 countries, including the EU, and most recently in South Korea. However, it's facing a legal challenge in the US, where the Federal Trade Commission has sued Microsoft in a bid to block the acquisition over takeover concerns. Woo!
Woo.
So 40 countries say yay. The UK and the US have both asked for Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard to be denied on concerns around cloud gaming and more. But the court case goes down in July. It's going to be a pretty exciting couple of weeks, that. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it feels like it's never going to end at this moment in time, but yeah, hopefully when we get to July and we start to hear more stuff coming out about this, we're going to start to see the avenues in which we're going to be able to get some sort of direction down. But yeah, I don't want to use the word excited because I feel like that's very anti-gaming, but I'm very interested to see what kind of situation we're going to be in come July, because we mentioned it a million times, this is definitely going to shape the way that we play video games for the next 10 years or so.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to hear the outcome of this and just to see where we're at, because there's going to be laws made around this. Regardless of what the outcome is, there is going to be laws put in place to maybe stop this from happening in the future, to close any loopholes that people may have been able to find to try and get this over the line. This is definitely going to shape the way our video game industry is. And as I've mentioned numerous times just then, it will definitely have some new laws put in place to either stop this from happening or just to safeguard the rest of these video game companies that want to be either consumed or want to bat them away.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I completely agree. Do I feel like this will go ahead? Yes. Do I feel like it should go ahead? Probably yes. Do I feel that anyone that hits it with a just let it go and shut up, stop being a mangy bitch is oversimplifying things? Definitely yes, because I don't feel like anyone should underestimate how significant a deal this is. And by just going just the UK CMA refusing this is bullshit. We're backwards is just oversimplifying the situation. That's the same people that call for, as Lotus says a minute ago, Brexit. Just do you know what? People voted for it. Just get it done. It's that sort of shit for me. It's that sort of conversation. There is so many different nuances, and there might be even a clear answer in either one. But undermining how severe a situation it is and how many different things in there it is, I feel like it should go ahead myself. I've always said I feel like it should. I feel like it would probably get slowed down, but I feel like it will always happen. But don't underestimate how significant it is to have a video game company that had the number 1 and 2 most sold games in a calendar year owned by one platform. That is definitely a serious risk. And anyone that doesn't know that, and anyone that absolutely believes, yeah, but Xbox have said, they'll share. And anyone that absolutely believes that Microsoft, one of the most malicious corporate evils that has ever existed, based on their straight up bullying of smaller companies in history, and the fact that they will just do the right thing because it's for the gamers. I mean, if you believe that, I would love to have what you've been sniffing, because that's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's everything that you think you can find now that has been said. I'd love for you to all write that down, because that is the only way that you're going to be able to reference this back. There is no way that they're sticking to everything that they've said. We will definitely supply this game onto PlayStation and support it for the next 10 years.
And
No.
PlayStation would do the same thing. If Jim Ryan
Absolutely.
if Jim Ryan was sat there going, yeah, we definitely. And it looks like the fingers are crossed. It's just the way that I sit when I'm talking, saying important things. We definitely will share our stuff. Definitely. It's like, yeah, of course you will. Of course you will. Of course you will. We know as soon as you're out of that courtroom and you don't have to anymore. We initially planned to. Like I said a minute ago, the Phil Spencer thing, which can easily be attributed to Jim Ryan, it's true when they say it. But after they've said it, times have changed and it might not be true anymore. So things are only true at the point of being said. Do I feel like it would be silly for Xbox to cut their ties with PlayStation and so on and force people over that way? Yeah, I absolutely do for the short term. But do I think it can have tectonic shifts in the industry, either in good ways or bad ways, for both PlayStation and Xbox? Yes, it absolutely can. And that's the thing. People just going, yeah, just let them get on with it. It's like, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. I do think it should happen, but I do feel there should be due diligence. So anyone that's has issues with the CMA and the American judicial systems, pointing out, that could be bad. What's wrong with that? Take time to make sure that these fucking mega conglomerates are not just going to exploit you. Before they full on absolutely 100% exploit you, because that's what they do. UK government, what a bunch of bastards. It's funny you say that, Tito, because in our next story, we'll talk about exactly that. You leave Uncle Bill alone, Xbox boss. We have every intention to supply the games to PlayStation. Cough, cough. I have every intention to win the lottery. I have every intention to not eat this mini dime bar that's just under my table there. And whilst I'm on the air, I can swear that I will not ever eat this dime bar whilst I'm on the air. But when I'm off the air, that may change. We'll see. Come back to me as being off the air 5 seconds. Just chocolate smears all over my face. Goodbye, dime bar. So yeah, we get the idea. I think we're all pretty sound of mind in here, in the fact that mega company wants to make mega money and buys mega franchise, and definitely 100% will share it with its enemies. Is just not a story that you believe, because there are nuances, and there is ways that cookie can be crumbled in different ways, and we all know that. But enough about cookies. I'm hungry. Let's move on to what Tito said. UK government, what a bunch of bastards, which is quite funny, because this article from BBC News says ministers seek to understand more about video games. Oh no. Sam Francis at the BBC has this. This is a political reporter, so we don't often jump straight into BBC. We might cover some like Stefan Powell or something, like their games correspondent, but this is actual news. So the government wants to find out more about the UK's booming video games industry, including whether its products harm users' mental health. Some of the world's best-selling games, including Grand Theft Auto and Football Manager, are made in the UK. Over half of British adults play video games, and the industry is worth £2.8 billion to the UK economy. But the government says not enough research has been done on how it can benefit the wider economy. So this is it. How can we make the gamers benefit us? Nice. Okay. It also wants research on how games can be used to improve learning skills. It's already been done tenfold. Just ask anyone that lectures in any form of video games, but there you go. And promote positive relationships, perceptions, and behavior among gamers. Once again, visit any video game professor at any university up and down the country, and they'll be able to tell you tons about this. Anyway, several studies have found that research into the psychological effects of playing video games has been hampered by a lack of data. And several haven't, but there you go. Anyway, this lack of evidence was highlighted by a government study on loot boxes' in-game features, which allow players to purchase mystery boxes with real money or points accrued in a game last year. Like, I'm actually, the more I read this article, the more I'm getting angry, because The government wants to look at like research into positive relationships and stuff. There is tons of that. Then they talk about the lack of evidence was highlighted by a government study on loot boxes, which it then goes on to explain what a loot box is, but doesn't explain what the lack of evidence highlighted. It just says this lack of evidence was highlighted. Was it? Oh, okay, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. A new guide aims
Fucking hell, size of this moth.
It's a big old moth, Dad. Welcome in, Yoda. A new guide aims to set out a legal framework that allows the gaming industry to hand over data harvested from video game players while avoiding breaching privacy laws. Under the suggested system, the gaming industry would use tools known as APIs to automatically create databases only accessible by researchers. That absolutely definitely is not going to be exploited, is it, by the way? Fucking Cambridge Analytica, here we go. Peter Etchells, professor of psychology and science communication at Bath Spa University, said the new video games research framework provides a much-needed set of standards to advance the scientific study of games in an ethical, progressive, and robust manner. My hope is that this will allow us to leverage the power of player data in order to answer meaningful questions about games can impact health and behavior. Keep it in the universities. Just don't let the government get hold of it. Don't do it. No. The new framework has been developed by the Department for Culture, Media and Sport in collaboration with academics and the games industry. The UK is the 5th largest video game market in the world, according to the Entertainment Retailer Association. Creative Industries Minister John Whittingdale said, video games are a booming industry, employing thousands of people and contributing billions to our economy, whilst bringing enjoyment to people in fun and challenging ways. Today's plans will encourage more research and study in this area so we can better support the opportunities of this highly innovative sector while also protecting players. British games companies can apply for video games tax relief. If a company qualifies, it can claim back 20% of its production costs during development. It is estimated that 68% of games supported by the VGTR would not be made in the UK or at all without it. Interesting article. I actually really dislike that article. After reading through it, it's very much
Stay frosty, yeah?
Chappers.
Morning shaggers.
Good morning, shaggers. I am Inchcock. If anyone doesn't know what that means, I'm not going to tell you. You have to join the Discord. It's one of those, you have to be there. But I am Inchcock. Are you still Inchcock? But yes, ministers seek to understand more about video games, apparently, which is a title that I initially had worried. I had my back up about it initially, I'm going to be honest. But after reading it, I very, very much so. It felt like the article was just saying the video games industry doesn't have any significant research. We've got loads of data that we don't know how to use, but the government can swoop in like a white knight to sort it out because they're also giving us video game tax relief. This absolutely sounds like a fluff piece for the government written by the BBC. God damn, the BBC is supposed to be impartial, but there we go. Anyway, that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts, babe?
Yeah, very similar. I mean, I'm always a bit skeptical with stuff like this because I always think that the government are thinking, okay, well, there's $2.8 billion or pounds worth of money floating around there. How do we get a chunk of this? How can we monetize this ourselves? So yeah, that's always my skeptical look and outlook when it comes to stuff like this. But I mean, how many times have we over the last 50 years come across video games are hindering children's development? Clearly it's development. It had an effect on mine because I can't fucking speak properly. But and the way that they go about their daily lives, like, is it interfering with their daily lives? Is it taking over their daily lives? Like, the link between data, the government, I don't know, parents and teachers, whatever else, will never end. It'll never cease because they don't understand it. People who want to understand it and understand what video gaming is as a medium of entertainment absolutely get it. There's no blurred lines in between there, but the people who don't see it as something completely alien and potentially dangerous, but it's just another form of entertainment. I genuinely can't put it any simpler. The people have gone to court and and had to argue this case in front of people that genuinely have no idea what video games are. So me bringing up these kind of points it's irrelevant. But ultimately, it's just another form of entertainment. Like, regardless of whether or not they have the data to themselves to try and manipulate into whatever study that they want to pull together. This stuff scares me because, again, they're pulling data together because they don't understand it, and it will never be used for good. It will be used for malicious attacks.
100%.
on a
100%.
a set of people who want to be able to just have that escapism. People's entertainment, regardless of, I mean, cinema's dying. It's a crying shame, but cinema is genuinely dying nowadays. Like the Super Mario Brothers movie was probably in the cinema for 2 weeks before it came to Sky Store. I imagine more people have probably watched it there than they have in the cinema. I mean, I'd take that with a grain of salt actually, because it's breaking all sorts of records in terms of viewing numbers and people going to the cinema to watch it. But in terms of cinema itself, it's a medium that's dying. People aren't buying CDs or albums anymore. There's a massive spike in people going out and buying vinyls, but it is a niche product nowadays. However, video games being able to be on your mobile phone, on your TV, there is apps on your TV that you can go in and download fucking NVIDIA GeForce or the new Amazon Luna app and things like that. The way that we consume video games now is infinitely better than we have ever had it. However, the mediums around us are slowly dying. Like Netflix don't put out as much as they used to because it costs too much to make. The standard of TV dramas nowadays isn't as good as it was 10 years ago. Like, but the video game market is thriving and they are making more money than all of these mediums put together. So where can we be able to try and get data from? How can we try and take a piece of this pie? That is what I feel like the data of these type of reports are being used against us.
I mean, it gets me angry. But like, talking about there isn't enough data around, so we need to basically get APIs from all the video games before we can make decisions. This is the same government that said, that effectively agreed with EA's statement that opening a pack on FIFA is the same as opening a Kinder Surprise toy, which is not. It really isn't, because a Kinder Surprise toy isn't part of your active culture. In terms of, you go to a shop, you buy a Kinder Surprise toy. Oh, you eat some chocolate and you've got a toy. Ta-da! You keep your toy. Job's good. Whereas when you do that in FIFA, that's like actively using the toy as part of your life. Kids that are playing, adults that are playing FIFA and any other game that has a loot box mechanic are usually doing so in a digital platform that is part of their real life. And the thing is, like, so I clicked through to the article that they were talking about in there where they were saying there wasn't enough data to make decisions. Government says video game loot boxes will not be regulated. This is the same government. That is the energy that they're coming at this with. They won't regulate gambling in video games because they said it has some very strong similarities and correlations, but they're not going to regulate it because it's not gambling. If you can see there's very strong correlations and similarities, then surely you should be worried about that. Instead, no, they were like, actually, no, it's more like a Kinder Surprise toy. But as the article says, loot boxes, it would be like there's a Kinder shop in your bedroom and you can buy as many as you want. But when you open them up, there's fireworks going off everywhere. And then this amazing toy is one that you can actually use in the game that you play with your friends. So it becomes part of your active daily life. It isn't a nice little endorphin hit. It's not just, oh, nice, that was cool, and then it's gone. It's an endorphin hit, but then actually fuels part of your relationships and your ongoing daily life. This is the government that actively turned a blind eye to that sort of stuff, but now goes, we feel like there should be research into video games. It has been done constantly for 15, 20 years at a very high level, and longer even before that. So, great. The White Knights of the government are coming to swoop in and do research for us that's already been done. They're going to protect us from stuff that they could have already been protecting us from. And get to fuck. Nah, it just feels like an absolute fluff piece. Whoever wrote this, Sam Francis, the political report for the BBC News, just feels like they've absolutely 100% just jostled off the government here to make them sound like heroes, and they're coming in to protect us from our dangerous video games because they could be bad for our mental health and they could be bad for our wallets and so on. If you're looking now at how bad they are for the mental health of people, how come you happily pushed loot boxes through just last year? So yeah, you're clearly not in it for us. As Bibby says, there's £2.8 billion on the table and you're not getting enough of it. So that's what the issue is for the government. Anyway, let me jump back to the comments. I have every intention. Oh, no, I've done that bit. I don't understand the UK reason for blocking it because Sony haven't invested in cloud gaming as much as Microsoft. Yeah, pretty much. Microsoft has a danger of being in a monopolistic position because of not Xbox, but because of Microsoft. So what Microsoft has with its cloud gaming and its Azure network and all that sort of stuff gives them an unfair advantage, which you stop. Governments are meant to stop brands from taking strategic moves to take over full industries before it arrives. That's effectively what they're doing. I don't believe there is enough evidence for that to be the case. If I'm honest, I believe there's more danger that comes from the IP side of things rather than the technology side of things. But it's the government. We're already talking about the fact they don't fucking know what they're on about. I'm sure I've harmed a few people's mental health when I headshot them. Exactly, Enzo. God damn it. The white paper they did on that, they totally ignored, 100%. I 100% don't want the government looking into anything I do. They don't look at shit to make it better. They look at it to regulate it. And why do they look at it to regulate it? Because they can probably earn money off it if they did it in a different way. So, yeah. They don't even do that, Enzo. They highlighted serious concerns with loot boxes, then said they trusted games companies to regulate themselves. Exactly. I'll go back to the article. What did it say? The UK government has decided that video game loot boxes will not be regulated under betting laws, despite it finding a link between them and gambling harms. So it knows it's betting, and it knows that it is gambling, and it knows that there is links between harm and video games, but still allowed it to go ahead. Yes, these are the people we want looking at video games for our benefit going forward. Nice. Ian Schcock, no longer shocked, to be fair, just enjoying the content flying about from the day top end. Nice. GG's again. Nice. Ministers don't understand the price of bread. Get them to fuck out of something that interests me completely. I don't understand what the government's objective is. Cha-ching. That's the objective. Bibby's looking fly as fuck in the new up-to-date studio look. Graham, just about the same level of fly, but Tommy Bahama ties it all together for him. I mean, understandable. It's just a shirt and a half. I literally have, this is a pajama top underneath my hoodie, by the way, and I have pajama pants on because it's working from home Wednesday. I'm just chilling the fuck out. Mogsy, how's tricks? Good morning. I heard you was a little bit worse for wear last Friday. Was that the case? When did you stop chundering? Did you chunder? Good to see you, dude. I want them to look into loose women and see the bullshit that TV like that feeds housewives and how much it affects their mental health. No, they ain't going to do that because they're not going to earn any money from that, though, are they? Good after. Wait a minute. You started near 10. What is this shit house? I know, right? I know. Whoa. Back the fuck off, loose women, Enzo. Too far. If the government can make money from it, they don't care. No, if they can't make money. Yeah, exactly. Wow, Christine Lampard is the only one worth watching. I bet you have the hots for Colleen Nolan. Tito does. Probably a research company owned by a Tory party, don't it? Absolutely. If I trusted the government to do the right thing, yeah, 100%. I know you've cracked on to Janet Street Porter, Tito. We all know it. But this current crop are a bunch of snook, which is a backward word that is called C *****. It's funny because I thought it was cons, but there you go. Nice. Okay, so the government says it's interested in knowing more about video games. It seeks to understand video games, is what it's actually saying. It wants to understand more about video games. And why is that? What do you guys think? Is that because the government cares about you and wants you to be healthy? Or is that because the government understands that video games are worth a shed load of cash and they want, as Tito says in the chat, a piece of the pie? I'm not going to wait for your responses. I'm going to assume we all agree Tito's piece of pie. Nice. Agreed. Fuck off. Get out of it. We don't want you in here. You're ruining everything anyway. You didn't know about video games, so fuck off, mate. Demonetizing YouTube. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, the 0.01 pence that we'd have got from this video is gone. Sorry, Bib. You'll have to work for another week before you get 0.1 pence again. Okay, we'll move ahead. One final story. This one we haven't read through, but will probably just be top line because, obviously, as we mentioned before, full disclosure, we do work with Konami on all of their releases, including Silent Hill. So we'll just go through Chris Scullion's opinion. So we will share opinion. We won't say if it's true or anything like that. It's all true, all of it. No, so yeah. Take it with a pinch from us. Chris Scullion at VGC says a new Silent Hill Ascension trailer has been released. The interactive streaming series is due out later this year. So a new trailer has been released for the upcoming interactive streaming series Silent Hill Ascension. The trailer gives more detail on Ascension's visual style and sheds some light on its story. Rather than a conventional game, Ascension is a live streaming interactive series which, according to studio Genvid Entertainment, uses, quote, a real-time interactive system that enables millions of people to help characters survive and change those characters' fates, end quote. The trailer can be viewed below. According to a new summary provided alongside the trailer, Silent Hill Ascension is, quote, a Genvid interactive streaming series that features multiple main characters around the world as they confront horrors unleashed in their communities, end quote. The series story will be, quote, an exploration of intergenerational trauma, which includes an extensive ensemble of intricately developed new characters, monsters, and locations in the Silent Hill universe. The series will start later in 2023 and will feature, quote, daily can't miss life story moments where each day is different than the last based on audience actions. In a statement, Genvid Entertainment CEO Jacob Navok even said, Silent Hill Ascension will captivate audiences with its immersive experience, spotlighting stunning visuals and live community-driven moments, all while exploring the psychological horror that has made Silent Hill series so beloved by fans worldwide. Ascension is one of a number of Silent Hill projects currently in development. Obviously, it'll then goes through all the other ones that are in development, which we have covered after the Silent Hill showcase. Is that what it's called? Last year. So, a change of pace. We know Silent Hill has a Silent Hill 2 remake coming. You know what to expect from that. There is a Silent Hill F and more coming. But this is different, this one. This is Silent Hill Ascension, an interactive streaming series, which gives us, I assume, episodic content with daily updates, and people's engagements and interactions with that will determine the story. Obviously, we can't say much about Silent Hill, but the prospect of having an audience-led campaign, obviously, I assume narratives will already be rewritten because that's logical. But then people will just choose which narratives get actioned. Does that interest you? What are your thoughts, babe?
Yes, it does. But we know when we let the public have a vote on anything that they tend to fuck it up greatly. So I feel like if the story is leading towards one thing, just to be able to completely change it, some people are going to vote for something else completely. Just to be able to get a different narrative. I don't know. This could be great. I'm not too sure. I don't know. I really don't know. But I mean, we're getting more Silent Hill. That's all I'm asked about. Like, I fucking love Silent Hill. We're getting more of it. I mean, I'd love us if this is going to have some sort of single player experience as well, so I can enjoy it. That'll be even better. But I'm definitely interested in taking part in this.
Yeah, I am actually pretty excited about this, and obviously take it with a pinch. It could be us just absolute corporate shilling because we are well in the cash, and obviously things like that. Nah, this is my opinion. I'm actually pretty excited for this because if this wasn't Silent Hill and this was any other game, I would be saying the same thing. This could be cool, or it could be, it was a nice idea. But that's the thing, it's the idea of it is pretty cool. Having something that is clearly a narrative, a story, and if you've watched the trailer, we won't play the trailer, but do you know, I'll bring it on screen actually whilst we're talking away. I'll keep it muted though. So the trailer looks great. It's got characters, it's got narrative, it's emotive, and that is something that's a shared experience is a win for me. It's a different thing, not just for Silent Hill, but for video games. Things have tried to do this over the years and never really fully succeeded. So this could be, I've used the word already once today, but tectonic in terms of its movements. It might not be. It might just be, oh, that was cool, and it's gone. But the idea of someone doing something creative with any brand outside of its normal remit is cool. So yeah. Looking forward to it.
I mean, it like you mentioned there, we could just be corporate shilling it. Like, I have a history of playing these Silent Hill games on stream. Like, it's not as if this is a complete surprise to people that we're looking forward to a new Silent Hill game, right? Like, this isn't. This people shouldn't just be thinking, oh, they're just playing this because obviously employed by Konami. Not genuinely, we're Silent Hill fans.
Yeah,
The same experience that we got with the Metal Gear Solid stuff that's recently been announced. Metal Gear Solid fans, like, it's the reason why we got in the industry in the first place.
and even without the brands specifically, like Bibby is a fan of scary games. Give him some horror. I am into content. Clearly, we're making a video game podcast here right now. I have a journalism degree, and one of the key things that I looked at in my journalism degree was media convergence, using different platforms together to try and extend content, and it just never really gets done. Like we've had, going back to us as Jelly Media now, we've had clients come to us that were releasing books and wanted to do full media cross convergence campaigns where they go and they have bus ads that are like physical geolocated things that have a specific thing. So it's imagine like the Da Vinci Code. You have to be in a certain place at a certain time because you found all these clues and stuff, and the clues are only released. One's on a website, one's in a book, one's on a TV advert, one's in a newspaper magazine. Want to do all that sort of stuff, and they're always a bit crap. So you bring it back and do something that's a little bit more accessible, and you can have more success. Keep it simple, stupid, that sort of thing. And this sounds like it could be that. So from that perspective, from a media convergence perspective, I'm pretty excited. Then we get the fact that it looks like a pretty cool design Silent Hill game. Okay, well, now that's fucking exciting as well. So yeah. I mean, it might not be.
It looks great as well.
It might not be, but the good thing is it's coming out later in 2023. So we don't have that long to wait to find out whether it will be. And it says daily can't miss live story moments where each day is different than the last based on audience actions. That's the only thing where I'm thinking, okay, daily can't miss live story moments. What if you can miss? What if you're going away for a week and you can't get access to it? Does that ruin your experience? Can you catch up? Is it so? That's the only thing where I start from a media standpoint asking it. But I don't know any of that. I don't know any of those bits, which is the reason why I'm throwing those thoughts out, because I don't know how that works at all. All I know is from a content side, I am pretty excited about this. And from a workplace side, you better all be excited about it, because this means that me and Bibby get massive pay rises and on all sorts of dividends and things. So
more shirts.
Is it going to be like Bandersnatch when it says interactive? That Black Mirror playable Netflix special thing. Do you know what?
That was the first thing I thought of.
I never actually did it.
Until Dawn.
I never.
Even though until. Sorry, go on.
So Bandersnatch. How does it work? Is it an actual game on Netflix kind of thing? Are you using your remote?
So. Yes, it's I did it on my PlayStation, I think. But I'm fairly certain if you have like a smart TV and you've got a remote, you can do it off that as well. But it's one of the episodes of Black Mirror. It just has like 100 different ways and avenues that you can go down. You get to a certain point, maybe like I can't remember how long it is. Say it's an hour, and you get to the 50-minute mark, and there might be like 10 different ways that you can conclude the story. You can go back to that 50-minute mark and just play out all 8 endings if you want to. But yeah, it just gives you scenarios. So like, I think Will Poulter was one of the actors that was in that particular episode. So like he'll say something to another character in the film, and it'll just I don't know if it's still frames or the scene just holds until you move on to it. So God knows how long they might have been standing there for, like 2 or 3 minutes after each thing, so then you to be able to pick your thing. But yeah, they'll just have acted out like 100 or 150 different scenarios, and then there's a tree that you go down. Yes or no, you move yes. Yes or no, you move yes. Yes or no, you move no. And it'll just keep on moving you down towards the end of the story.
Should be back. Chappers is comment in the chat is pretty cool. So as it was just ending then, I don't know if you guys caught it. Like I said, I did this about 15 years ago on YouTube, where Chappers actually mentioned it in the chat as well. YouTube annotation, as you get to the end of it, you get 2 suggested videos, or 4 as it is now, can be, but it'd be like option A or option B. So you choose which one, and it'll take you forward. And someone had done all that sort of stuff. So it'd be absolute turgid for your algorithm these days. But back then, it was a cool YouTube sort of thing. Anyway. We've got 2 boxes on the screen, me and Bib. So Chappers has put, I'm trying to click on one of the 2 boxes to advance the story, but I think the choose your own adventure thing's broken.
Nice work.
So yeah, going back to that, like the YouTube thing, I did that like 15 years ago. I thought it was pretty cool. And going back 10 years before that, when I was a kid, I remember there was something on Saturday night TV, maybe ITV, probably about 8 o'clock at night. And it was a similar sort of thing. It was like an audience phone-in kind of, you choose the story, and it was like, you're a racetrack, and you see there is a bag on the floor. You look in the bag, and there is £10,000 in the bag. Do you A, take the money, or B, hand the money in? And then everyone in the audience has to, yeah, exactly. That's what they did. So then you go home, and then all of a sudden the police or fucking some, I can't remember, it might have been a drug dealer or whatever comes knocking on your door or something or whatever. Do you A or B? And it was one of those sort of things. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I love the fact that it's on TV and I'm sat watching it, and somewhere else in the world is sat watching it at the same time. But they're influencing the story, and I wasn't, because I was about fucking 12. But I could, in theory, be influencing the story for them as well. And that sort of stuff is just pretty cool. So having that in a video game, it is pretty exciting to me in terms of people collaborating for a collaborative story. Nice. But as Bibby says, people can't be trusted with good things. The internet cannot be trusted with good things. And Twitch Plays Pokemon is a great example of it being good and bad. Because one minute you'll go into a fight against the Elite Four, and then the next minute you've just fucking yeeted your Pokemon or whatever. You get the idea. It's people. So cool. I'm interested to see how it goes, and I'm interested to see if there's any sort of like. I mean, this GenVid, I don't know anything about GenVid Interactive, but they offer a GenVid Interactive streaming service, so they clearly know what they're doing. So they must have some sort of safety nets in there to stop malicious behaviors. Or if it's just multiple choice, A or B, and the actions are clearly defined and will give you a good story either way, there's not really a wrong answer. So, yeah. Goosebumps used to have books like that. You choose your story, you'd have to go to page 75 for left page and page 145 for right, and so on. So I think Chap has mentioned that as well above. Yeah. One of those like Goosebumps adventure books. Yeah, I didn't even know that the Goosebumps did that, to be fair.
I love Goosebumps as well.
Yeah, same. Whoa, sounds a bit democratic. The government were cracking down on that. So down with this sort of thing.
Take care now.
Do you know what? We're going to wrap it up there. Silent Hill Ascension has a new trailer. It looks pretty cool. If you want to see the trailer, I'll give you the link to the article that it's within. So we watched it within a Chris Scullion VGC article. So that is the full article there, but the trailer is embedded a bit further down. There is audio in it. It is cinematic. There's some nice narrative over the top. It actually looks quite good to me. I'm saying actually, like, not like I'm surprised, but actually in terms of the fact that I'm, as mentioned, take it all with a pinch. A corporate shill. We are being paid by Konami to do things for them, so you can trust our opinions or not. But it looks pretty cool from what is in there. You be the judge for yourself, though. Elsewhere, we spoke about The Witcher 3 has now sold 50 million copies. The Witcher series has sold 75 million. CD Projekt is not for sale, despite having games that are really, really fashionable and expensive. They want to keep them. Call of Duty still isn't for sale, but it might be in July, as the UK's spat with Microsoft will go back into courts in July. So we'll keep you up to date with that when it does happen. Elsewhere, ministers are looking to understand more about video games because they can rip you off because they are evil and you are not. Might not have said that in the article, but that's my take from it. And a new Silent Hill Ascension trailer has been released. That is your scoop for today. Appreciate everyone that did drop in. Apologies for it dropping out at the very end, especially to Bib, who's now got stitched 5 minutes of content onto the end of it. Fun times. But it's the way it is. For now, though, we are going to disappear. Do stick around. We are going to drop a raid on one of our friends, as we like to do. Just pass on a little bit of love. Before that happens, though, I'm not going to go to Bib just yet. Reminder, I'm back tonight playing some PUBG. We will be back from about 6:30, as we normally are, doing some chasing crates with mates. There is also a couple of things to remind you about. I didn't do this in the pre-show, so I'm saving it for now. But we have a PUBG clan. And if you've got PUBG and you want to bag yourself an Astro A10 headset or some in-game currency for PUBG, there is 2 prizes, 5k in-game currency and 1 headset. We're giving both away, but only one person can win one, so you can't win both. We can't get a beans clean sweep kind of thing. But you have to join the clan, and you have to be in it by 4 p.m. on Friday. So if you've got PUBG and you've not jumped in already, do feel free. I did see JMK has dropped in this morning as well. If anyone has the game and does want to jump in just as a chance of winning some prizes, do feel free. If you don't. There is a high chance of winning compared to all your other follow and retweet mechanics, because this is only people that are actively in our clan in game. So like, I tweeted yesterday before a few people joined, there was like a 25% chance of winning. We had a 1 in 4 chance of winning, and then when someone won, then your chance goes up for the other one. So it's gone down a bit now, but in compared to other things, it's quite a high chance of winning, which is cool because we know it's going to be people that we know, which is good. Elsewhere, if you're in the Discord and you want a copy of Bolt Gun for PC, which is a Warhammer 40k game, do feel free to check out the Loot Drop channel in there. There is a post that you have to react with the Up the ICU emote. If you do that, you could win a copy of the game. If you don't do that, you can't, and we'll give that away tonight, so do feel free. But before all that happens, Mr. Bibb,
Yes.
is there what you'd like to add?
Yes, well, I need to actually speak to you about it first because I am not going to be here tomorrow on Friday. So are you going to be doing a scoop while I am away?
Good question. Tomorrow, no, because as just found out, I have a meeting. So tomorrow, no. Friday, potentially. We might do a dollop on Friday. But yes, tomorrow definitely no scoop. I will be in the studio, which obviously, there is. We've not used the studio to broadcast from the studio yet, so we're not going to do it tomorrow at all. Plus, I've got meetings and stuff, so no scoop tomorrow, but potentially a dollop on Friday. But we'll have a stream tonight and a stream on Saturday. And
Okay,
Sunday.
perfect. So yeah, I mean, I suppose the best way of being able to find out when our next episode of the Scoop is going live is obviously to follow us on all of our social media channels. If you're watching this in any of our on-demand services, go into the description below. All the links that you require will be listed there. But we could potentially have an episode of the Scoop on Friday. So if you want to help shape that show, there's 2 ways you can do so. First of all, as I just mentioned, find us on social media. It's at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms. Or alternatively, get involved with our Discord. Yada, yada, yada. Description below will have all the links that you require. But all we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be potentially on Friday. At what time, Mr. Graham Day?
Absolutely 10 a.m. 100% 10 a.m. ish.
Confirmed.
Ish. Okay, I can see Mr. Spidge is alive. We've not dropped in on Spidge for a while, and he did drop in on us for a little bit of conversation alone. So we'll go say hi to Mr. Spiggion. So do feel free to stick around for the raid, and we will see you back here 6:30 p.m. ish tonight for some bolt gun giveaways and stuff. As I said, make sure you jump in the clan. All you need to do is when you're on the main screen in PUBG, hold your button that takes you to the clan screen. It says it on the bottom corner. And then just search for Ice Cream Uploads. Or ICU is the clan tag. There's a few ICUs in there, but there's only one Ice Cream Uploads because, that's how it works. But yeah, join it, and we will give some stuff away on Saturday. We'll draw it on Friday, but we'll give it away on Saturday during the stream. Nice. But have yourselves a beautiful day. We appreciate you dropping in for the scoop. And until next time, what they got to do, babe?
Stay frosty.